Hi everyone, I am making candles. I'm hoping that this setup is better because now I can see the screen, and I won't be going so far off. I hope you guys are doing well. I'll see if, hey. So I wasn't telling anyone this. I did not tell anyone, but yesterday I did a pitch. So there was Black Girl Ventures had a pull up and pitch conversation. You need to call me one. Yes, definitely. Um, Black Girl Ventures had a pull up and pitch competition yesterday. It was a virtual competition. And I usually have imposter syndrome. So I never tell anybody that any of these things are, that I'm doing any of these things. But I did it, and I went to round 2. Now, I was so nervous. I had been practicing all weekend in addition to, the Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It sure is. It will take the best out of you. Because I'm sitting here like, okay, you got this. But I had to reassure myself, and then, talk to my husband. And he's just like, listen, you're thinking way too much into it. You got this. And I'm like, okay. So I got to round 2, super excited. I pitched, in round 2. So I think in total there were about 45 people who pitched yesterday in round 1, and then they sent 7 people to round 2, and I was one of the 7. Now, after I pitched in round 2, I didn't place. Nice to meet you too. You've been on my Instagram. So, when I'm like, what was I saying? So, I pitched in round 2, and it was a 3-minute pitch. And I sat there and I listened to everybody else's pitch, and I thought my pitch was great. But I'm also really hard on myself. And I didn't place at all. And I was super, super heartbroken. And I was just like, oh, I didn't do well. Oh, thank you. I'm like, oh, I didn't do well at all. But that's not the case. Oh, thank you. I'm actually making the rose right now. I'm making some candle tints. My mom is coming to visit. Sorry if you guys can hear with construction. The roofs in our area are being redone. And my mom is coming to visit. She's actually she on her flight right now. She's probably boarding her flight right now. She's coming from Syracuse, New York, and coming all the way down here to Lake Worth to come and visit. So I'm really excited. I feel like I haven't seen my mom in a really long time. But it has just been earlier this year. So, after I pitched in, exactly, she is definitely coming when it's chilly. She doesn't like the snow either, so I don't understand why she still lives in Syracuse, but that's nonetheless. I'm trying to get her to move down here, so I'm hopefully she'll eventually move down here. I'm super close with my mom. So I think at the end of the day, if there's a pitch competition out there and if there's grants, I would say get out there, do it. I got a lot of feedback yesterday. I also met a lot of other entrepreneurs who were doing the same thing and scared. It was their first pitch competition, and sometimes you just have to do it scared and do it anyway. And that was the lesson learned. So I hope I can pass that down to you guys. Well, anyway, what are you guys doing for the day? And where are you guys tuning in from? You're in the office still. Last 30 minutes working in the office, I know that feeling. What is your name? I've seen you on my Instagram. Is your name Ebony? Oh, Lori. Okay. Nice to meet you, Lori. Oh, okay. Okay. Sometimes I'm looking and I'm like, everybody looks familiar. And I'm really, really bad with names. But I do recognize like brand names, but I'm super bad with names. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I try to be as much of a help as possible because to me, if we don't help each other, then small businesses won't succeed. Because, you know, there are way too many people out here who are gatekeepers, who don't share information. But when you choose to keep it to yourself, you're the only one who's going to be on top. And to me, I'm just like, no, there's way too much room for everybody out here. So what are you guys' plans for the day? I'm probably not going to stand here for too long. I just have a few cents to make, and then I'm going to hop off. You're still a work in progress. Yes, I did. Yeah, it's because sometimes you're listening to so many people tell you who you are. You really need to find your target market. The person who helps me, her name is Jazz Anye. Thank you, Leslie. The person who helped me, her name is Jazz Anye, and I watch her videos a lot. She's a ton of information on there. And I have been watching her, I think, for probably the past 2.5 years. And I finally broke down earlier this year to do a website audit, so probably in June. And she's been helpful ever since. I mean, she's been helpful previous to that, but I've been doing some of her sessions. So I purchased branding. I think it was a branding class or launching class. That's what it was. So launching class, launching new products class. And so then she had a mastermind that went with it. And she's so nice. The person you see on YouTube is the person I met via Zoom. And she will get you together. I educate myself a lot. So I listen to a lot of people but it's also good to implement these things, because if you're, yes, definitely take a look at her videos. Um, I'll put her name in here if I can. Maybe I don't have that there. Okay. So she has a lot of great information, but if you don't implement the information, and if you just like absorbing everything, you're not going to learn anything. So you really want to take all the information you are learning and you want to put that out there into your business and do what sticks. So I learned from her. I also join in the morning with Nikki. Her YouTube name is Bubble Babes University, and the group in there, it's BBU. And she gets you all the way together as well. And so it's just like the combination between those two people really have really great advice and just positive. I will definitely save this live, so yeah, it'll be on there. I'll save it. Have a great day, Leslie. Thank you for tuning in. I know this is kind of a weird time, and I'm like, I no longer work a 9 to 5, so I have like, all my time is kind of spread out. But yeah, those two people are invaluable, I say. Nikki and Jazz. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. I'm just gonna go to my computer real quick. So Lori, I don't know if you're still in here, but what do you do? I think I saw illustrations. Your day job is illustration. Nice. So what do you do for the brand you're building? Oh, nice. Patient inspired giftables. Like what kind of giftables? Like prints or greeting cards? Oh, yeah, I've been that way too. Because sometimes in a creative job, let's see if I can turn you guys down. Sometimes in a creative job, when you're the creative one, and then you have people trying to give you direction, it doesn't feel as enjoyable anymore. I know that. Definitely been there. My background, well, I have a lot of things I used to do. I'm kind of a faceted person. I used to be a graphic designer. So that's what I went to school for undergrad. You host. Uh, oh, nice. Okay. You paint customs for accessories. Oh, that's great. Oh. Oh, nice. Okay. That's so cool. How did you get into that? And the funny thing is, I'm realizing that I can't do two things at once. Sometimes when I'm talking, I can't like pour. Let's see. I understand that your culture. Yeah, sometimes it can be frustrating being at a corporate job. Exactly. Share your own culture. It's so important because I feel like um, we're such a huge melting pot, and sometimes what happens is there's so much ignorance out in the world, and it's because people don't know or don't care to understand. Um, but when it's coming from someone who wants to share, uh, maybe it can take that to have a little bit more understanding to other people. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes I ramble. A lot of times I ramble. But yeah, I just made lavender, and now I'm about to make my rose candle. And then I'm gonna make my sea salt and sage and then clean up. There are some boxes back here. Don't mind that. Um, and then get ready for my mom to come. I think she's arriving 10:30. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You like my orange and citrus? Yeah, it's become a fast love for a lot of people, and people have been requesting to have citrus scents, and I had finally broke down and found and came up with ones that I really liked a lot, and was really hoping customers like them too, and they do. So I'm really excited. But thank you for that. Thank you. I definitely strive for them to be that way. I don't want them to be generic or scents that you can find at multitude of places. Um, have the brands really stand out. Oh, thank you. I would say you should do what you feel. Um, but I created blends in the beginning. Give me 1 second. I definitely think that, to me, we're all using, pretty much similar brands and similar suppliers. And so, say if you find something at Makesy or you find something at Porter Candle Supply, so it depends. Um, it really depends on if you want to, change that scent. So I started out with Makesy and I did blend some of the Makesy ones. So they are unique to me and they're some of my best sellers. My lavender is a blend that I created, but it did start with a Makesy fragrance. My papaya is a blend that started out with the Makesy fragrance, but I blend it with other things and it becomes your own. So I would say you have to do what you feel is best. And I do a mixture of both. So I use some blends and then some straight from the bottle. See if I missed anything. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I definitely understand the as a buyer and exactly. There you go. There's your answer. As a buyer, people want to see blends. But I would say if it's too complex of a fragrance, so say, some of the things from Maryland, well, not even some of them, most of them from Maryland, they don't need to be blended. They are very, very complex. So if you're using something from Maryland Wax Club, I would say don't blend them. They are very complex, very unique fragrances, and I feel like Mika has been putting her foot in everything she's been doing lately. I hope that answered your question. So I'm almost down to my last scent. I am at my sea salt and sage. And then I'll eventually make more candles, but these are the ones I wanted to make today. The funny thing is Lori, I do have a pine scented candle. I don't typically like them, but I created one because, funny story, my brother, growing up, he has always been one for, real Christmas trees. And my mom one year decided, hey, I'm gonna buy an artificial Christmas tree. And then he made a big stink about it, saying that it does not smell like, it smells like plastic and, it's not gonna be the same. And my brother and I are a year and a half apart, so I kind of like poke fun at him a lot. And so I had decided, every single year I'm gonna buy him a pine scented candle. And so that just became a tradition for I've been doing it for the past like 15 years. So, of course, when the holidays came, I said, I need a pine scented candle in our collection. Now, it's not the typical pine scent, but it definitely smells complex. Um, it has cardamom and clove in it, and it has been a bestseller for the past 3 years. So this is the third one. I can't count this year as of yet because it's not ended, but the past 2 years. So 2021, 2021, 2022, the past 2 years bestseller completely. So I personally love it. I hated pine scents at first, but this particular scent, I'm obsessed with it. I can honestly burn it all year round. Oh, Lisa, I don't want to talk about the amount of fragrance oil that I spent. It's astronomical. I think I wasn't looking at price as bad. What happened when I started, because at that time it was Wooden Wick Co. And instead of buying the sample size that I think it was like 10 milliliters, I bought the 16 ounces. And back then it was more reasonable, obviously, than it is now. But that was a bad idea because there were quite a few scents that I hated. Honestly, I probably spent over $1,000 in fragrance. And I would say don't do that. Learn from me, don't do that. Yeah, people love to get into the spirit. It is a really great holiday scent. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people think that candle making is super easy. I think TikTok makes it look very easy. But it's science. It really truly is. It's a science. And there's a learning curve. There is definitely a learning curve. I've been making candles for a very, very long time. I actually started making candles when I was a child. Yes, it was a hobby. Yes, they are very, very expensive. Now I don't even look at Makesy because of how expensive they are. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like baking. It's a chemistry, where cooking, you don't necessarily need the precise, ingredients. You don't need to measure everything. But with baking, yes, you do. You stick to drawing. I can't draw to save my life. I can paint. I paint, but I cannot draw to save my life. At all. My brother draws. He's a really great artist. My dad paints as well, but my mom draws. So my mom draws, my brother draws, my dad paints, I paint. But painting is something I do as a hobby. I don't sell. I've never sold one of my paintings, and I will never try to even sell it. It's like photography for me, because sometimes I feel like sometimes when you make your hobby or your passion, I would say hobby or your passion project into a business, have something outside of it that you can do just solely for you, you start to resent it after a while. And I don't ever really want to resent painting. Okay, we're on the last one, you guys. And then after I pour this one, I'll probably hop off because these have to then cool down. Candle making is definitely an art. Oh, gardening. Oh. Come help me with my green thumb. I have no green thumb whatsoever. No green thumb. I have, if you can help me, what do I have? I have a bird of paradise plant. It is kind of dying. Can you help me with that? If you can help me, that would be grateful. You're gonna clock out soon? Okay. Thank you for coming on here, Lori. After I pour this, I'm about to hop off as well. Okay, definitely catch the replay. Thank you for hopping on here. You can't help me, Lori? You're into food gardening. Okay. Hi, Ian. And you're catching the last bit. I'm just pouring some candles and then I'm gonna hop off. I just finished pouring 2 candles and I'm about to pour my last one. I definitely appreciate everyone who has come on here and chatted with me. Oh, thank you, and it was. It definitely was. Ooh. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping on. I know this is like, thank you. Thank you, Lori. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I know this was impromptu and I appreciate you guys for hopping on. All right. Bye, you guys.